All right, all right. Let's go. Let's go. I see DJ Strick in the house. What's up, sir? So, first of all, welcome back to Stream Like a Boss TV. I'm really, really thrilled because we have a very special guest this evening. This is where we share live stream strategies to help coaches, consultants, and course creators to really embrace your face so you can stand out online, sell more services, and serve more people. Now, we go live each and every week on Thursdays. So tonight is our night, and I see the folks coming on in. Awesome, awesome. On Tuesdays now, we're going to be adding something called 10-minute tips. So on Tuesdays, we won't have as much conversation. I'm just going to be sharing high value content, but we just started that in the month of March. So I look forward to seeing you now twice a week. We get it 2 times a week. We're going to be broadcasting on all the major channels, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Now, I am your host, video coach Tanya Smith, in case you don't know this. But now I need to find out who you are. If you have been here before, you've been with us on the show, I want you to type in hashtag OG. If this is your very first time ever watching the show, I want you to type in hashtag newbie. So I'll be looking for your comments, and I want to go ahead and say hello to those folks who are popping in already. Strick is in the house. It's awesome to hear you and see you. Yes, yes, yes. And Yvette C. Lee Music. Awesome, jamming. I know, OG. And then Scott, I know you're an OG as well. So thank you so much for showing up. I know we're going to have more people showing up as well. Cheryl Brooks in the house, OG. I love that I always have my recurring audience members, my community, my family coming in and saying hello. So it's wonderful to see you. Jennifer, welcome, welcome, welcome. And there's Kirk. So look, let me tell y'all a little bit about Kirk, because I'm going to bring him in just a few seconds. Kirk Nugent is an amazing live stream coach. We're going to really get deep into live stream marketing. We're going to talk about what it means for you as an entrepreneur, because many of you are entrepreneurs. And we're just going to flow. We're going to ask some questions. So what I want you to do is to get your notepad and pen out so you don't forget what you want to ask, and make sure you type it in the chat. And we'll definitely be going back through to make sure that we're acknowledging you and sharing any resources that either of us can. But Kirk is OG for real when it comes to live stream. I'm just learning. I cannot wait to introduce you officially. So we're going to see you after this really short video clip. I'm going to have him sitting right next to me, and we'll talk a little bit about who he is, what he's all about, and we're going to dive into the conversation. So I look forward to having this chat, and we'll see you in just a second. All right.
What?
Mr.
This
Kirk
is so
in
awesome.
the house.
Yes. So excited to be here. So excited to be here, man. Listen,
Look,
I'm about to call mom and be like, I made it. I made it.
you know,
Stream Like a Boss TV. I'm here.
you were a boss before you got on the Stream Like a
Listen.
Boss show. So let's be real.
I'll take
Let's
it.
be
I'll
honest.
take it. I'll take it.
Let's be honest. I
Man.
need to read a little bit about this official bio,
Mhm,
but then I'm
mhm,
going to
mhm.
have you share a little bit more about who you are and what's not in the bio.
Okay. All right. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about expert live stream coach Kirk
Uh-oh.
Nugent. He is an accomplished content creator. He has reinvented how small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities reach the world. And when I tell
Come
you,
on.
this
Come on.
gentleman is someone who I admire, because he and I love a live stream with
Yes,
a
we do.
passion.
Yes.
So,
Unapologetically.
unapologetically, whether he is engaged in one-on-one training to help those who seek to grow their business, or he's captivating audiences through Amazon and CNN, y'all, CNN, With his
Okay.
expertise
Okay.
as a product ambassador, Kirk's goal is to help organizations leverage innovation. As the host
Mhm.
and producer of the show How It All Works,
Let's
I'm going to
go.
pop up his website real quick
How
here.
it all
How It All
works. Let's
Works,
go.
he believes that corporations, no matter their size, should stop selling, start streaming, and let the clients come to you. So
Yes.
we got to talk about what all that means.
Come on, let's do it.
So let's talk about first of all how and why. Like what intrigued you about
Mm.
live streaming? Why did you start doing live streaming in the first place?
So I like conversations. I like the unplanned nature of a conversation. I like that I don't know how you're going to respond to what I'm saying to you right now, and you don't know exactly how I'm going to respond to what I'm saying. I like that that somebody in the comments can say something, and in real time we can not only respond, but we can change the entire course of our entire experience here. I love conversations. And I think that conversations is how we get to know one another. Conversations is how we establish our passion areas, our superpowers, our secret sauce. Right? That's
Mm-hmm.
how we let people know those things. Because when you get in conversation with somebody, invariably you'll know what they're passionate about and what they're
Yeah.
not. You don't necessarily need the taste test, at the little Chinese spot in the mall with the toothpick, the little chicken on there. We don't
Or
need
the
the taste
Sam's
test.
Club, the Sam's Club plate
There
with
you
the
go, Sam's Club,
testers.
with the little shot glass of the yogurt or whatever it is they're trying to get you to taste. You don't need the taste test when you've had a full conversation with somebody because you kind of have a full idea of what it is they bring to the table. Conversations reveal so much more about us, our passions, our desires, our expertise. It reveals, man, it reveals in a more natural, organic way, that not a selling way. It just reveals who we truly are, both the good and the bad. Conversations is how deals are made. Let's be honest. Conversations are how the world is run. It's how money is made. It's how you secure the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Conversations, it all happens in a conversation. And what we've seen over the last 10 years with content is this ability for creators to share a one-sided conversation, and it
Mm-hmm.
has had massive impact. Live, however, has given the other side of that conversation a voice. Live means that we can all have this conversation together. Live is at the top of the content creation pyramid because you can get everything from live. You cannot get anything from can't get live from any of the others, right? We can get the podcast, we can get the quote meme, we can get the audiogram, we can get the video clips, snippets, reels, shorts. We can get all of that from live. You can't get live, however, from any of those other pieces. It's why it's at the top of the content pyramid. Live is the cheat code. Cause let me tell you something, fam. You can't show up and fake it live.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cheryl Brooks is in the comments. She says, "Hello, Kirk Nugent." I don't know who Cheryl is, right? But if Cheryl asks a question and I answer it, Cheryl knows that I've never talked to her before. So for me to answer her question live means I'm not putting on a show. This is who I am. I'm sharing from my lived experience. I'm sharing from my expertise. And if you want that to work for you, here I am.
I love it.
That's why I love live. I absolutely love live.
Look, and you don't just say that you love like you actually put heart and passion into it.
Yeah.
And here's how I know that. I know this because I've been part of a couple of different conferences where I was speaking and you were speaking and I just was sitting there like tuned in like wow. Like
Man.
Kirk is all over this thing and not only what here's what I loved about you when I first saw you speaking on camera. I loved
Mm,
that you had the energy, but I also loved that you had the intelligence about what you were
come
saying, that
on.
you were thinking
Oh, wow.
strategically.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I always say these pieces, it's a culmination of so many different areas of my life. I was not a good speaker. I was not a good communicator. I failed communications class in
What?
my bachelor's program. I did. I couldn't even get the first sentence out. My entire notes was wet because my hands were sweating. I could not say the first line on my presentation, and the first line was, "My name is Kirk Nugent." I couldn't get it out. Right? I was deathly afraid, or as they say, debilitating stage fright. It
Yeah.
literally paralyzed me, such that they had to actually give me assistance to get out of the classroom. But I've gone from that to this, and this is again one of the things I like to share with folks is that um, that portion of my story is part of my story, and I would never hide that part of my story, because you would not get this version of Kirk if that version of Kirk didn't exist. I had to go through those experiences in order for this version of myself to emerge, and I use that as a microcosm for everything that I do in coaching and so many other places. Take a look at what you're doing right now. It's not going to be this way next week. It's not going to be this way tomorrow, or maybe it will be if you don't determine to make a change. So I love that portion, and yeah, I that's why I'm so excited about how you shared that. Like, you're not only showing up with energy and flair and enthusiasm, but also with some intelligence. That's part of that coaching program of going
Yeah.
into public speaking. A good friend of mine said, a good friend of mine said, listen, people tell me that they don't like speaking all the time, and they say this while speaking. No, I'm not a speaker.
But I'm up here
We all
speaking.
speak. There, yeah. We
Yeah.
all speak for literally a living, in order to order food, in order to do the assignment, in order to lead your team. You must speak. We are all speakers, but
Yeah.
some of us have actually taken it and made it a profession.
So, how
I
did you
think I think all of us
transition
should.
from
Go ahead.
that space where you were introverted and you were sweating? Well, I'm an introvert. I don't know
Mm,
if you're an introvert, but you were having trouble and challenges with the speaking part of things. How
with
did you go
speaking, right?
from that to where you are now? Was there a trigger? Was there a moment in time? What
Yeah,
helped you to make that
yeah.
bridge?
So first of all, I still get nervous. But what I learned about nerves is that it's just energy. And so what I've learned is how to take that nervous energy, harness it for right enthusiasm,
Yeah.
and put that out there, so that I'm using that energy for a different purpose. That's the first piece. The second piece is I just kind of found my why. I found my thing. The thing that I recognized, that I was trying to operate in other people's lanes and spaces. I didn't need to do that. I
Yeah.
often would say to my sister, all we used to say this all the way, all growing up. If we could be the people we are at home
Yeah.
in front of others, everyone would like us.
Yeah.
So we just needed to kind of take all of the barriers down, take all of the requirements away, and just be ourselves. And that is a beautiful space to be in. I know that it sounds overly simplistic, because it does take a lot of work to mine the gold in who you are, mine the gold in your story, and understand, what makes you tick,
Yeah.
what makes you unique, right? Because there's not another one. I said this at a speaking engagement last weekend. Be you, because everybody else is taken. Right. So you are an original. There's no other copy. There's no other person like you, even though there may be another name like yours, but there's no other.
Yeah.
You get my point. But there's no other Kirk Nugent. There's no other Tanya Smith.
Yeah.
There's no other. And so you get to bring the unique story that is you to the world. Like, that is what God has given every one of us. You get to bring your unique story to the world.
And you know what? There is no other way that I would want to do that than through live streaming. Like, this is one of
Me
my
neither.
favorite
Oh,
things to do. And I say that having come from a background over a decade now of doing business behind a PowerPoint deck.
mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to get on camera, Kurt, at all. And I saw Cheryl's note. I got to pull that back up again too.
Come
She
on,
said she's
Cheryl.
an introvert and shy at times, and public speaking for her is still nerve wracking. But you know what, Cheryl?
Yeah.
You show up. I see you in the
Yeah.
community. I see you with Stream Like a Boss TV a
Hmm.
lot, which tells me that you have a desire to let your voice be heard through the power of video. So I'm so excited and thrilled that you're here.
One of the things I would say for Cheryl is figure out what recharges you. That was another huge cheat code for me. Um, some people are recharged by big crowds, while others are recharged. Like I've been on for a long time. Now I need to go alone in a room somewhere. Just leave me alone. I need to recharge.
Yeah.
Figure out what recharges you. Often when we figure out what spaces, what routines recharge us, that will let us know what we need to, how we need to structure things so that we can actually get over those spaces, those times where we feel shy, where we, whatever that is. Like, because if I know I'm going to get a chance to do that thing after
Mm-hmm.
this is done, then I can get over this hurdle. I can get over this next hour, whatever that might be, to be able to get to that other piece. So some of those things help to really let us identify what, and there's no right or wrong. That's the other thing that's so great about that, right? It's individual. So your journey is going to be different from mine, different from Tanya's, different from everybody else in the chat, because you're figuring out you, and that's great. That's a great space to be
And if anybody has questions, make sure you pop those into the comments.
in.
If what you're hearing from Kirk, the Kirk Nugent, because
Oh
there are a
my.
couple, and we're going to make sure, I'm going to make sure I get you the right website,
Ah, that's right. R. Nugent. That's right.
kirkrnugent.com. I want you to make sure you ask those questions. And if you're loving what you're hearing, I definitely want you to put a fire emoji. If any of this is really
Oh, come on.
resonating with you, because many of you that are in this community, in this space, are learning to live stream. You're learning how to really fully embrace this. So
Mm,
I am super excited about that. Oh,
absolutely.
John said, "Oh, the other Kirk Nugent."
Yes,
No,
the other.
he's the Kirk Nugent that we have right here, and then there is another one. Both are amazing
Dr.
gentlemen.
Elo. I love it. Dr. Elo is with us. I see it. I see you in the chat, sir.
What's
Cheryl Brooks
up,
putting some fire emojis in the chat as well. I love it.
Dr. Elo? Look, I keep saying that I'm getting to meet all these powerhouse
Come on.
men, first of all. And I'm going to have to pull y'all in as like a brotherhood panel or something.
Please do.
It's
Yeah, I'd
coming.
love that.
It's
I love it.
coming.
I'd love it. Listen, anytime you want me back, I'm
Look,
letting you know
DJ
from now.
Strick and you and Dr. Elo. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of just amazing people that I've met in the ECAM
Mm.
community. Can we talk a little bit about ECAM? Are you good with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
how did you first start using ECAM, Kirk? Why and how?
Oh wow, this is good. So I was watching. I had been doing stream. This is I'm trying to pick it up in the middle, but I'd been streaming for a while. Always looking at different platforms and products. I am a tinkerer, so I like to figure out how it all works. Go figure. That's the name of my show. So I had been using several web-based streaming platforms. Now, prior to using those web-based streaming platforms, I had, I've done the big large scale production with Teradex and Black Magic equipment and all that other good stuff, tier 5. But I had been looking for something that was a little more advanced than what I was seeing from our web-based streaming platforms. I looked at OBS and quickly said no, and then looked at vMix and Wirecast. Both of them really great products, but didn't quite work the way that my mind works. So
Yeah,
I didn't
me
just
too.
immediately gravitate towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Henny the Business, if any of you guys follow Henny the Business is he makes beats. He's just a really creative YouTuber. I just love following him and what he does. And one day he just decided to share with folks what he uses to stream. And he just turned live demo mode on. I was like, this is Ecamm. And I remember looking at the video like, this is everything. this is this is
I
this
want
is
that.
everything I've ever asked for. I'm like, what? So I jump in the community, and a good friend of mine, like a college roommate of mine, Leslie Samuel, I start seeing some of his videos as the promo for Ecamm. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? What's going on here? And did the deep dive, and just of course joined the community. And as they say, the rest is history. But I know that the crux of what you were talking about was the community. So that's how I kind of got to Ecamm. But joining the community, um, first let me say Ecamm works the way my mind works. That's why it'll never move. It's just this is I'm using Ecamm right now, even as I'm a guest in Ecamm. Like that's how extra I am. But I will say that joining the community and then recognizing the wealth of knowledge that was available there and the sheer, atmosphere that had been created where people are just willing to help. It blows my mind still to this day. It did then. And
Mm-hmm.
still to this day, I'm just like, oh my word, is everybody just willing to assist and help? I used to spend hours in there. I mean, I've actually had to limit my time in the Ecamm community because I need to get other things done. But I used to spend hours in there just commenting on other things, hearing what other folks are doing. Just, I mean, amazing in terms of what's possible with streaming. Uh,
Yes.
Entire industries have formed. Like Stephanie Liu coined the phrase remote producer for those of us who are remote producers. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't a phrase before. So that happened in the community. I mean, it's just amazing what that community has meant for a lot of us. And then it has been a launch pad for so many lasting, deep connections, friendships,
Yes.
relationships that have formed over the past 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
People like Tanya, people like DJ Strix, Dr. Elo, people like Diana Gladney, Doc Rock, Katie. There's just so many people that
It's like a
I've been
whole
able to
community.
connect with. Yeah, just an
Mm-hmm.
entire community. I went to Social Media Marketing World last year, and the Ecamm had a meetup there, and it was real talk. It was like a family reunion. I had never met majority of these people before, and there were hugs, literal tears. It was an amazing experience. So, for those that want to know what is the Ecamm community, that's what it is.
And look, it's not even that I'm trying to, like, I'm not on here trying to promote Ecamm, affiliate wise
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that. I brought that up because I think there is power. Look at this. Look what he's doing. He's
That's
showing off.
Ecamm, y'all.
He's showing off. But this is the power of having live streaming is that you can literally create a well produced,
Well
functioning
produced.
show in real
Yeah,
time where you're having
yeah.
conversation with people in the chat. Look, Cheryl mentioned something about what we were talking about earlier, so I'm going to pull up
I
her
love it,
comment in a
Cheryl.
minute.
I
But look,
love it,
Valerie said,
Cheryl.
"Wow," because she's looking at
Yeah.
yeah. Look, I'm not at that. I'm moving into that level because I want to be like Kirk, Dr. Elo, DJ Strick. I'm trying to get there, but
Listen, I got
look
I
at
got my
how
Doritos on
he's
the
got
table,
his
y'all. See, I'm telling on myself here.
Doritos are ready to go. But this is the
Oh
power of
my.
what you're able to do now. Because, Kirk, don't you remember a time when it was a lot more expensive to do this type of production, to pull off the type of quality that we have right now in this minute? Like what we're doing right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
would have cost thousands of dollars and
Thousands
taken
and
a
taking rooms
team.
and rooms and rooms of equipment. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I ran when I was in South Africa. My family and I spent about 4.5 years in South Africa as missionaries. I was IT director for an NGO there, but as IT director, they placed this media center under my purview, under my responsibility list, and so I was working with this entire media team who ran a 24/7 TV station. And so I have seen, you know, at
Yeah.
large scale what production actually takes. And I'm telling you, there is a moment where when I started to see some of the web-based streaming platforms, and platforms like Ecamm and others, I had to take a seat because it was just my like it was like a malfunction. Like, whoa, are we able to do this with one machine? Like
Right.
that, this used to take rooms. And so oftentimes when I'm talking to folks about live streaming, especially if you're not a streamer, if you're not technical, I often try to take them through some of those iterations because I think when we go through that, when we have a, I like to say reverence, when we have a respect for the history of some of the pieces that
Yeah.
kind of brought it through, like the history of why we do a countdown clock, right? Why they say, ready, action, and they say speed. They
Mm-hmm.
don't actually there's a reason for all of those things in production. And when you get those reasons and you see how it has manifested in its current form, the things that we're doing now as live streamers, you start to understand a little bit better. Okay. And then your expectations, I think, become a little more realistic.
Yeah.
I get a lot of comments, as you can imagine, on my YouTube videos talking about, hey, why can't we do this? They should add
Yeah.
this? Man, I wonder why can't they do this? Why can't we? It's because you don't have a base understanding of the miracle that is this platform.
Right.
Because if you did know what they've squeezed into one application,
Mm-hmm.
you would probably be like, I can't believe they're getting this done. Like it would shift your entire expectation level. So
Yeah.
those are I love that piece of the conversation, Tanya. There has to be a connection between the two. This is where
Yes.
we've come from, and while you may never go back down that path, it's good to know, right? It's good to know, just to have a look back and say, oh, okay, that's what we used to do. So,
Yeah. I think that this is really, to me, kind of encouraging because just hearing you speak about it, and you mentioned the word reverence. And when
mm,
I look at the type of creativity that we get to tap into, I just feel so
yeah,
honored right
honored.
in this
Yeah,
moment to be able to even deliver content in this way. And not only is it about delivering the content, but it's about reaching the people who you truly are meant to reach.
to reach. That's good.
I don't,
That's really
it
good.
doesn't even bother me so much. It used to, because initially when I first started, like you said, I was trying to be somebody else. I was trying to be like someone else
Yeah,
just because I thought this is what I'm supposed to do because now I'm on video.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
there
need
is
to
an
emulate.
audience.
Yeah,
Right. There's an audience for everyone. Everyone's not going to have the same setup that we have, but you have possibilities for growth. You may start at
that's
a
good.
certain place
And
and
then
you can
grow.
continue to build.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's everybody's journey is so unique and specific to themselves. And there's you can draw from so many different aspects of your story. I'll give you one other little one here. So people often ask me, is it natural? Did you get trained? Why are you so good at this whole live streaming thing? And so from a technical perspective, there's a lot of things I've had to learn along the way. But one of the major things, especially as I coach folks, is I know how to talk. I know how to hold a conversation with myself
Hmm.
and laugh at the jokes, and just kind of be me with the camera.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing. So I recognize that, but I also recognize that that comes from growing up as a child. And my dad, a typical dad style, would have that big camcorder on his shoulder at family events, and he would literally tap myself or my sister or one of my other siblings on the shoulder and say, come on, tell us what's happening. And for the next 20, 25 minutes, half hour, I would be pulling people in for interviews. I would be, yeah, this is so and so. They just flew in from England. We haven't seen them for 10 years. Uncle so and so, talk to us a little bit. I have quite literally been trained to live stream since I
All
was
your
like 10
life.
years old. But we don't go back, because I can't tell you how many people have said to me, man, when you said that story, I've started to think back, and my dad did the same thing with me. But we don't draw from those experiences.
Yeah.
We don't draw from those experiences. I like to say that we are the sum total of our experiences, all of the good, all of the bad. And it is that is our secret weapon. You got to bring your full self to whatever it is you are going to do. And so if that's finance, if that's marriage and family life, maybe it's ministry, or if
Hmm.
it's live streaming, you got to bring your full self, your full weight,
Yeah.
authentically to what it is you're doing. Every aspect will just add a little bit of flavor, a little bit of sauce to it, that'll make your end product uniquely different from everybody else's.
And Cheryl, I'm going to pull up your comment. She
Oh
said,
yeah,
what helps me recharge is usually being alone, listening to old school R&B."
R&B. Come on. And Cheryl, I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if you want to hear this, but that would make for a great live session. Just it could
Hmm.
literally be called the recharge,
Hey,
and you're listening to old school R&B, sipping on a little something, and lights low. I can't tell you how I would show up for that live stream, Cheryl. I would show up for that live stream.
look, this is the
The
other reason why
recharge.
I like Kirk so much because you see how he was like quick on the spot, like show idea, boom, right there.
Boom.
This is when you know you have a real coach. Like when they can
Hey,
come up with ideas. I love it. Look, Valerie
Dad,
said, I like that. Have a conversation with yourself and laugh at your own jokes. Yeah.
come on.
When I
That's
finally
right.
figured out I could laugh at myself when things would go wrong with live,
That's it.
it made
It
it so
it
much
takes the
easier.
pressure off. Takes the
It really
pressure off.
did. Let me
Yeah.
see. Yvette saying, I'm just sitting here taking it on. I don't interview, but I love going live. Well, I don't interview yet. That's right.
I
Yet.
like the yet. I like the yet. I like the yet. And
Yet.
Cheryl's catching up. Cheryl's catching up. She said,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to
The
see, it's starting to
recharge.
the wheels are turning. She's like, what? What?
Wait,
Most people think that when I ask them, go ahead, go ahead.
John said, might have some music licensing issues on the R&B.
No, no, you won't. You just have to play the right music. That's all. That's all.
Find the
You can go to
royalty free.
artist.io. You can go to Epidemic Sound, or you can commission music. Like I got a
Wow.
bunch of DJ friends who are like, "Yo, I'll give you music for your live show." So for the first year or two, I didn't use any music from anyone else. I just used original music from those guys. So there's
Sweet.
many ways around that thing, and you're doing so many different things by doing that. Because if you know, the more your show gains popularity, let me be clear, the main thing is engagement and what is unique. There are people that used to show up for my live show because they were like, I can't hear that beat anywhere else because that beat doesn't exist anywhere
I
else,
love it.
and that beat stuck in my head, Kirk. So I had to show back up for your live show just because I wanted to hear that beat again. Mm.
That's
So
smart.
I'm with you. I hear you. There are copyright issues, but there are ways around to navigate those things. It's all possible. It's all
Intelligent.
possible.
Didn't I say?
Yeah.
I said intelligent. So we're hearing it from the boss. From the boss.
Come on.
Stream like a boss.
There we go.
I
There we
love
go.
those drops.
Yvette
I
said,
love
I
those.
laugh when I. So Yvette actually has a music channel, by the way, on YouTube. She's working on growing her
Nice.
music channel and she creates her own music, but she also does some covers of different types of gospel hymns
Dope.
and some other
I
things like
love
that.
that.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah. So Yvette, man, you should do a request show, man. I have a guy, I have a good friend of mine. He is, we call him the minstrel, and he makes up a song every, like, so we'll have these long drawn out conversations on Friday nights. We call it the cafe. There's no plan. It's completely unscripted. We just jump on and start talking about our week and all kinds of things. God always shows up in the midst of the thing and wrecks shop. But this gentleman will sit there quietly throughout the entire live, and at the end we'll be like, "Yo, David, you have anything?" And he will sing a song that he wrote throughout the entire live stream, picking from the major points. It's phenomenal.
Okay, I'm showing up for this show. This is on Friday nights.
Friday nights.
I'm just gonna come
It's
and
crazy.
because that's awesome. And
It's
what you
crazy.
said was unique. What you said was creative. You said words that for me were making
Mm,
me think about, yeah, that's the critical thing. If you're coming up with show ideas, you do
right.
want to stand out. You want it to be something that is going to be your own.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
Yeah.
necessarily that you have to sit there for like 10 years and I can't come up with an idea that's
No, no.
unique.
Yeah. Well, see, this is, I think, I'm gonna. I hope this doesn't throw us too off course, but this is one of the reasons why coaching is so critical, Tanya. This is one of the reasons right here, because one of my most purchased sessions is the ideation session. Because I am an idea guy. I can't help myself. Ideas
Yeah.
just they're bouncing around. And as people say stuff, I'm like, oh my, that right there. If you don't do it, I'll do it. Right? That's a t-shirt. Like go get that t-shirt done. Right? Get that t-shirt created. Because if you don't get it done, I'm gonna get it created. But the ideation session, not just the coaching session. I did an ideation session with an executive and two members of her team. 5 minutes into the session, she was like, "That's what I needed right there." And she left the two ladies with me to finish the session, and she was like, "I'm good." But the reason why is because ideas. Listen, just one good idea could blow up everything you're doing.
Yep. That's the truth.
One well placed, like just this shift this perspective slightly. It's you got to know if that's not your thing,
Hmm.
you get with Tanya, you have a session so she can pour in, so she can take a look at your whole setup, constructively, and
Hmm.
say you've got a gap here because we're too close to it. I have several coaches. I just want to be clear.
Me
And if
too.
your coach doesn't have a coach, get rid of that coach. You heard it here first. I'm going to say it one more time. If your coach doesn't have a coach, get rid of that coach. Get rid of them
Y'all
because they don't know how to,
heard
they
it.
haven't gone through the process. You haven't gone through the process. Yeah. Get rid of them. Fire them tomorrow. Yeah.
Just
But
saying.
my point is they're in every other high performing aspect of life, in every other high performing career path, sports, finances, business, people have coaches,
That's right.
people have mentors. It is not a bad thing. And we kind of really need to destigmatize that because some
We
people are like,
do.
man, I don't really want to. No, get in with somebody who can give you some really cool ideas, but who can also be like, that's kind of whack. That's
I
not
know.
feeling that. You know, you need that from time. I need that
I
because
do
I will run
too.
with an idea and somebody will be like, yo, Kirk, that didn't hit. That's not
Yeah.
slapping at all. That's
And look, whenever I coach people, I always ask for permission ahead. Like, I just want to get your permission to be honest with
come on,
you. I
to
want to
be
give
honest
you
with you.
honest and very direct feedback because you hired me to do that. But I want to ask your permission because something you just said, I want to kind of
Hmm.
address.
I want to touch on that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
These are
good.
the
It
things.
always is good. It always comes out with, it's with love and compassion. It's
Yeah.
not with, this defeat. I'm not being defeatist. I'm
Yeah. No,
helping you to be
no.
constructive.
Now, I know that most people, I can't speak for everyone, but for majority of people, some of
Yeah.
the most meaningful relationships you have are with siblings or with childhood friends. Why is that? Those folks will tell you your stuff is trash
Yeah.
and you love them and they love you and
Yeah.
you can receive it because they've have that longevity and that history.
Yeah.
It's a part of it's part of the process. It's part of the process.
It's a part of
Yeah.
growth. Let me see
Yeah.
what you're saying, Cheryl. I used to do in person interviews with small business owners and upload. I recently started doing interviews. I need to make this
With
longer because,
authors and
yeah,
books.
with
Yeah.
authors about books. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good, Cheryl. That's good.
Yeah. And you know what?
If
Here,
you're
you
if you're
can. Oh, I'm sorry.
it,
I was going to
no,
say,
no, no.
you
I was just gonna
mentioned
say.
this earlier. You mentioned the idea that you can get really creative and do whatever show is
Hmm.
really floating your boat. And for me,
Hmm.
initially, I was doing interviews with my podcast and I
Hmm.
got kind of burnt out with the process because I didn't have my system wasn't tight. It wasn't where I needed it to be.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
instead of stopping altogether when I started doing live streaming, I just decided I'm going to start solo. And
Yeah.
then I built up into the interviewing strategy. So
Love it. I love it.
you do what
Starting
makes
solo is
you,
such a cheat code because
yeah,
there are things you will learn in a solo stream that you will never learn when you're interviewing. In fact, um, let me give one example. So the way that I ask a question when I'm interviewing somebody is I'll say, "Hey Tanya, we want to hear a little bit about more about you and who you are and what a typical week looks like and who you're serving." That's a very specific question, right?
yes,
Now, the worst thing you can do as an interviewer is to ask that question and go silent. Now the person's looking at the screen like, oh, especially if they haven't had time to prepare. So what I do is I ask the question, Tanya, want to hear a little bit about you, who you're serving and what a typical week looks like. Because I mean, I've been following you for a while. I've been looking at some of the stuff that you're doing, some of the comments, the way that you're engaging, the community that you've built, the responses that people are having. I mean, you're unearthing some really deep things, and so we want to know more about you, Tanya. I am literally stalling to give her time to think through her answer. The
yes,
reason why I know how to do that, the reason why I know why to do that is because I have streamed by myself. Streaming by yourself will teach you to fill. It'll teach you to say the question and then say it another way and then
mhm,
say it another way so that the person has time to really grasp what it is you're talking about. And then when you're done, they're almost cutting you off to answer the question at that point.
yeah,
So there's something to be said for streaming for yourself and getting that rhythm, getting that experience under your belt so that you can hear some things. And here's the other thing too. When you're streaming, there's a delay. So yeah, do the same thing for your audience. Hey, audience, let me know in the chat where you're watching from. Because I'm here in Huntsville, Alabama. And
Mm-hmm.
here it's raining and it's overcast and it's cold. And I thought Alabama was warm when I moved here from Maryland, but I guess not. So yeah, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Oh, Cheryl, I see you see what I am giving you time
Yep,
to end because there's a delay.
that's
There's
right.
a delay, and these are all things you learn when you stream by yourself. There's a
But
delay, so
did you
you
see
can't
Cheryl's
just ask
note?
the question. What does she
She
say now?
said, doing it solo is scary.
Actually, I thought so too. I did. I thought doing it solo was scary for a very long time, and then I realized like, it's just me and the camera. Like this is my cheat code. Um, how can I go wrong here? Like, no, no. I just kind of shifted the perspective a little bit. But yes, I get it. And I don't want to make light of that. I'm not trying to clown either. I think we all need to recognize where our strengths and weaknesses are. So if it is scary for you, I respect that. But I think that personally, I just any area where I see that there may be something that's kind of a deficiency or something that is just hard for me to do. It's something that I see as an opportunity to get better at.
Yeah.
And I go after it real hard, yo. I That's just my makeup. I go after it real hard. So
And I bet
yeah.
you do too, Cheryl. I bet you do too. And I saw
Ah,
John said it gets less scary with practice, which I agree. The more I
yeah,
did it, the easier it
yeah,
got. But initially,
yeah,
it was tough. It was tough to get on screen and have no audience. So, Kirk, because you have been doing some form of media for so long, did you ever have a time when you had no audience and you were doing live streams?
yeah. Quite a while actually. Yeah, for quite a while. I did live streams where it was just me and the camera, especially so I had that at first when I first started going live, right? And then I started to build up an audience, and then maybe about a year or so after I really started getting going and I really started having some consistency in my lives and
Mm-hmm.
in my audience, I started on Amazon, and it was like starting over. It was literally
Yep.
I'm doing a full live shopping session with no one watching.
That's been me.
No one. Not one person. And I had a phenomenal time. And I kept on doing them. I remember one show in particular. This is for somebody out there. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I did one show in particular where I was live and there was about 4 people watching. And I was just rolling that thing as if it was 2,000 people watching. I'm like, y'all, let me tell you about this phone holder, man. I've been using this thing for so long. This phone holder has saved me. Blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you about this microphone. It's the MD7X. It doesn't have a. Yeah, I'm going. And I see in the comments that somebody says, "Great job, Kirk. I'm showing your show as an example right now to CNN. Thank you for doing such a good job." The person's name
Wow.
was Jeff Bezos.
Oh,
4 people watching. One of them was Jeff Bezos.
that's crazy.
And you're waiting to go live? Stop waiting.
I'm just saying that story, that's the best story.
Oh yeah.
One of the 4 people
One
watching.
for people.
Look, if that doesn't tell you, you just start where you are. I don't know what will tell you that. That's
Come on.
awesome.
That's it. Look, John says exposure to scary things is 70% of overcoming them. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Just go, go, go,
Yeah.
go. Look, Gary Jones said, mercy. I know that's right. Look, after
You
I
never
saw
know.
that comment from Jeff, I would have been like, 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 wait a minute. Is that the Jeff?
Let me tell you, 2 of the people who were watching, of the 4, 2 of the people were friends. And one of them screenshotted all of those comments back and forth between myself and Jeff Bezos, and he sent them to me. So I actually have those screenshots because this is back when Amazon didn't really save comments, so you can't really go back and see that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have those screenshots, and it is just amazing. And this is what I always try to give people perspective. Somebody will say to you, I did a live, and 2 weeks later, it's only got like 70, 80 views.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it's much impact. Have you ever seen a room with 70, 80 people in it? It's a lot of people. I just, we have to keep those perspectives in mind in terms
Yeah,
of impact, and don't get washed away in the vanity metrics. Impact looks like one person getting it today.
it
Like
does.
out of all the folks who are watching live with me and Tanya tonight, if one person walks away and says, you know what, I'm going to give live a try,
Yep.
that would be worth our time tonight. It would be.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
That's the goal. That's the one thing, honestly, Kirk. That's the thing that kept me going when there was no one watching. It
that's it.
was my mantra every time I got on was a little prayer, and I just said, right people, right. I said, right person, right message, right time.
Right person,
Like
right message,
whatever
right
I
time.
need
That's
to
so good.
say is going to be said to the right person. Like just give me the right words for the right
Mm,
person,
mm.
and this is their time. It's whoever
Time. This
shows
is
up
there.
is meant to get this message. So
That's it. That's it.
that's my job.
Oof.
My job is not
That's
to
it.
go viral. My job is to reach the people that I was intended and purposed to
Oh
reach.
my. I said this. So one of the questions in a conference I spoke at last week. This one of the guys was like, "Man, so how do I go viral? Tell
See,
me, Kirk, how do I go viral?"
my job.
And I said to the room, I didn't say to him, but I said to the room, I was like, you do know that in every other area of life, viral is not good. Like if the doctor says it went viral, like we are gonna start crying, right?
It's a
I
problem.
mean, no, it's a problem. It's a problem, right? Viral anything, not good. And just depending on your station, right? For many people that have a viral moment,
Yeah.
they don't have the funnels in place, they don't have the platforms in place, they don't have the infrastructure built out, they don't have the email campaigns, they don't have what's necessary to capitalize on a viral moment. So for them, it's actually a nuisance. I've seen people close down websites. I've seen denial of service
Hmm.
because you don't have the right traffic for your. Listen, yeah, I've seen one person had to completely redo their channel because
Wow.
the 5,000 people that subscribed were subscribing for that video, and that video wasn't what his channel was about. He can't
Yeah.
duplicate it. No, and does not have the desire to duplicate it. So
John, stop it.
viral is, yeah. The
Yeah.
last few years, the
Have
last
been
few years have been rather viral.
viral. Good one, John. Good one.
What platform do you recommend for live newbies? YouTube. Oh, stream. Oh, okay, my bad. Zoom, StreamYard, FB Live. So first, me personally, this is just me personally. Tanya, you can kick me off the show. Zoom is not a live platform. It's not. It's a meeting platform. It's a really good meeting platform,
Yeah,
but it is not a live streaming platform.
it's not.
It's a meeting platform. So I just want to say that, and I just want to share it with you guys. I share it with my heart. But stop. Just
It's with
Zoom,
love.
if you're listening, just turn off the live feature in the
I
platform.
know.
Just turn it
It's
off.
all
Just
look,
turn it
it's all
off,
said
please.
in love, but it's truth. It's
Yeah,
look, I
yeah,
know that a lot of people use Zoom because they already have Zoom, they're familiar with Zoom, and I love Zoom for meeting purposes, for workshops, webinars, that kind of thing, but I also think if you're doing live streaming, you really need to
yeah,
use live streaming equipment, live streaming
yeah.
platforms, live
Platforms, yeah,
because they're designed to do things such as multi stream to different places at once.
yeah,
They're designed to allow you to showcase comments and to engage with people in real time. It's
yeah,
difficult when you're doing that from Zoom to Facebook, for instance,
yeah,
because then you got to
yeah,
have multiple windows open. It also
yeah.
could reduce the quality. There's delay.
Reduce the quality. Oh,
Yeah,
and you can't even get those comments back in. You can't engage, and it's not a seamless experience for those who are watching. You can see the mouse moving around. You don't have Zoom. Please just turn it off, please. Turn off that feature, please. Zoom, if you're listening, we beg you, turn it off. But let me also hasten to add that another reason why I absolutely love Ecamm. I mean, I live in Huntsville, which is a military town. All of the three letters are here, all of them, everyone you can think of, they're all here. And so I do a lot of work with those three letter folks. They don't like streaming to, you
hmm
know, socials,
Yep.
Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. They like streaming to what I like to call a captive audience. Zoom is that. And that
Yes.
is where Zoom comes in. It's such a phenomenal platform because it can be a destination for your live production. Like
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing right now, we could do this with a Zoom audience. We can show comments. I want to be clear on this.
Yeah.
With Ecamm, I can show comments, not social comments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about Zoom comments. The comments in Zoom, I can show them on screen with Ecamm. So you can create a scenario where you're essentially running a full show with a Zoom audience. So Zoom is also a destination, but it should never be the source for your live stream. That's just Kirk's. That's just Kirk's
Well,
way.
you heard it here. You heard it here from Kirk.
Yeah,
Kirk
yeah,
said it
yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah.
And John says the
Oh
more
my.
viral you go, the more your content is removed from its original context and audience, and that is a problem.
It's a problem. It's a
Yeah.
problem. It's a problem. You want organic growth. Nobody wants, you know, a chicken with 3 wings or 5 legs. That's not organic. Right. So that's, maybe
Yeah.
KFC and Popeyes might be happy about that. But me personally, no. You want organic growth, and organic growth looks like hard work. It looks like,
Yeah.
growing gradually, you know. Um,
And
That's
Kimberly
that's
says she uses Zoom along with Ecamm. I'm assuming for the purpose of connecting with your captive audience, Kimberly G.
Yeah, absolutely. Zoom with Ecamm is the match made in heaven. I
Yeah.
love that. Zoom as a destination for my live production using Ecamm or vMix or whatever else that has a virtual camera that I can go into Zoom with. Absolutely phenomenal. I love that.
Yeah. And
I love
Cheryl
that.
says,
And
thank you for the advice. She's going to keep Zoom for her group chats.
oh yeah, Zoom is dope.
And look,
Zoom
I
is dope.
use it for purposes of like what we do on March 17th. We're going to have an office hours. It's going to
Lovely.
be inside of the Facebook group. So we're using Zoom to have people, if they want to be on camera and they want to engage in conversation, like voice
Yep.
conversation, I'm giving
Yep.
people that option. Come into the Zoom space, but then we'll broadcast into the Facebook group so that the replay will automatically
Can be
be in
there.
there for office hours. So,
Lovely.
yeah, there are ways that you can use both.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I used to do for my show, I used to do an after party with the guest,
ah,
right? So everybody knew that we'd go live. I would interview this guest for the time frame for my show, and then if you wanted to get tickets to the after party, you just went on my support page. You buy me one coffee, and you'd get the ticket. All right, so you get this ticket. You'd come into a Zoom room, but myself and the guest would still be quote unquote on stage in Ecamm, and we would engage. All of those the audio from those people who joined Zoom could be heard by those who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, but you couldn't see them. I just chose not to bring them on screen. But the
yeah.
idea was they had access in the after party to be in the conversation for real. So yeah, Zoom's still very much a major portion of, my strategy in terms of all the things that I do, but I just don't use it to broadcast. So
But here's what
that's
I thought
that's
was really cool about what you just said.
yeah.
I'm going to just say this again. Kirk is
Come
so
on, come on.
cerebral. Did you hear how he was like, "Hey, well here's my strategy. This is what I did over here, and then I
Mhm.
had people over here, and I was
That's right.
and look, when we first talked, Kirk, I was like, wait a minute, you said I could also use Restream to do Instagram live while I'm doing my like he
Yes, you
always when you
can.
talk about ideation, you truly are the real deal. I love
No,
it.
yeah, man. Listen, there. I just feel like the it is not a thing because people haven't done it yet. That's
He,
that's really what it boils down to. And then once you've done it, and that's why I like having my own live shows because in my live show, I used to do live shows for clients all the time,
yeah.
but they would tell me what they wanted. Right? The non-expert would tell me, the expert, they wanted their show like this. And so it's when I started doing my own live shows
Yes.
that people would be like, okay, I want season 2, episode 6. I want that design. I want that format. I want that flow. And I'd want whatever secret sauce you sprinkle on it, Kirk. I do not want to hold you back. Now that means I'm not even working anymore. I'm just having a bunch of fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just fun. It's pure
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it. And Kimberly
absolutely.
said she was referring to what you said earlier. So she runs theater plays. That's
That's
awesome.
dope. Really
That's really
awesome.
dope. Yeah, I
That's
love it.
oh man, I just the creativity and what people are able to do in these spaces. Just you don't limit. Oh, I haven't really seen anybody doing my thing. That means it's time for you to get out there
Yeah.
because somebody's waiting for you to do it so that they can do it.
Look, you have
That's dope.
dropped so many nuggets, and I did not realize like we're at the top of the hour.
I know.
It's been
Listen,
just going
I
like
told you,
whoop.
I told you. It's like I'm one of those. we we could do 2 3 hours easy, but no, this is I will just say this, and then I know Tanya's going to close this out. But if you are on the edge, you've been to think about this live stream thing, and you're just not 100% sure, like how would it work for me? Um, and you're an entrepreneur and you're wanting to leverage and harness the power of live video for your business, your brand, for your book, for your consulting, whatever it might be, I would I dare you. I dare you to try it. I dare you to just go live, make an outline, very brief, very simple, very basic. Here's my intro. Here's what I want to share, the value, and here's what I'm going to do to get out of there. Here are some canned questions that I'm going to put in the audience myself. I'm
Yeah.
giving you some game, y'all. And here's how I close out the live. I dare you to do it. I dare you to do it. I listen, I just know for a fact that it will help you to set yourself up as a thought leader in a particular space. It will help you to grow an audience. And an audience is going to be the prerequisite to play on certain playgrounds. Simple.
Yes.
They won't let you in if you don't have an audience. I'm working with Fortune 500 CEOs who are paid thousands of dollars to go and speak at different events. They're about to retire. They don't have a website. They don't
Mm,
have a social media handle. They have no presence, no audience. They find themselves back at zero.
yeah.
An audience is going to be the prerequisite to play. Yo, athletes. I'm working with parents of high schoolers who play basketball, football, baseball, and they're like, I'm realizing that the reason that my child was not given the scholarship, they didn't get into certain schools, is because they don't have an audience.
Yes.
Actors can't get play parts in movies because they don't bring an audience. I'm telling you, an audience is critical. So I know that live streaming can help you to be a authority figure in a space, and I know that live streaming can help you to grow and engage an audience, an active audience. But third, I know for a fact that live stream can set you up with a steady stream of referral based opportunities. I didn't say income. You got to make the money, but referral based opportunities that you
Mm-hmm.
can cultivate into cash. You
It's
could
true.
cultivate them into the bag. But that is so flipped on its head in terms of I'm not cold calling. I'm not,
Yeah.
hey, let me show you what I can do for you. No, they're ringing your phone off the hook. How can I put your secret sauce, your superpowers to work for me?
Mm-hmm.
Live streaming.
And
Take
it's
me at my
all
word, y'all.
about it's putting your unique
Mm,
gifts. It's putting
mm,
yourself, your voice, your message out in front of other people, being
people.
vulnerable,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's being consistent. Because what you
Consistent.
didn't say, Kirk, is you didn't
Mm.
say, just jump on today and then you'll have all these things I just said.
No,
So
no.
so I want you to hear everything that Kirk said and also add the
Yeah.
consistency piece to
Consistency.
it
Oh
because you
my.
have to be consistent. You can't just do
Yeah.
it once and be like, well,
Yeah.
nobody showed up, so figure out what your
Consistency eats.
cadence is going to be and then keep
That's
it
good.
going even when people aren't showing up, even when it looks like it's dire. Now, one thing you have to do, and I'll just say this real
Mm.
quick, is you have to adapt and adjust. So as you see things are not working, if you've been doing it for some time, yeah, you pivot because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to experiment and see what's working for me and what's not working for me and do more of the things that are working for you, but stay consistent.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because don't
There's
we give
there's
up
there's
too
so
quick?
much gold there. Yeah, we do. There's so much gold there. I was going to say that your consistency trumps talent every day. Consistency eats natural ability for breakfast. Consistency. I love working with consistent people. In fact, I would challenge folks to believe to the notion that much of our K-12 and college career is about learning how you learn and how you can
Yes,
be consistent. How you can be consistent. If you learn how you can be consistent, what makes you consistent, there's nothing you can't do.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, he spoke fashion. Consistency is it's everything. Look, if y'all have been enjoying these nuggets, be sure you like this video, show Kirk
Come
some
on.
love, put fire, hearts, everything in the comments in the chat. Kimberly said she loved the confetti. You know, I had to pop the confetti up a couple of times
Come
because I was
on. I
like,
love
ooh,
that. I
like
love
that's
that.
gold. What he just said, that was a
Hmm.
nugget.
Come on. Thank you. I like that what he meant. Thank you.
Yeah, this is good stuff, Kirk. It's good stuff. I love it. Thank you, Gary, for the claps, the hand
Come on.
claps. Yes, y'all, because this is the kind of information that you're hearing from Kirk tonight.
Mm,
This is the kind of information that you pay coaches, real coaches, the ones that can
hmm
actually really support you and help you to move forward in your journey. This is the kind of information that you can get in a room, private room, and get
mm.
personalized attention for.
That's it. That's it.
So take these nuggets, build on them, find yourself a coach. It may not be Kirk, it may not be me, but find yourself someone that's going to
Whatever.
support you in your
That's right.
journey
That's
to
right.
use live stream marketing as a part of your strategy. It can be a very essential and critical part of your strategy if you do it the
Absolutely.
right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you do
Oh,
it the
so
right
he
way.
spoke, asked a question we got to put up here. He said, how do you
Oh, where
fight
is it? Where
those
is it?
times when you struggle with consistency? How are you getting past that?
This is the question of life. He spoke. That is the one major question of life. I like to say it as it's a school you will never graduate from. It's getting a PhD in you. You will never graduate from that because you have to continue to learn who you are. Like this is the cheat code. I said to my niece, she is my wife's sister, who is Jamaican, married a South African, and they currently live in South Africa. Okay, so I'm talking to their daughter, who is the mix of these two, and I'm saying to her, you're in a space now, high school, early college, where you're trying to blend in as much as possible. It's human nature,
Yeah.
but your secret sauce does not come from blending in. Your secret sauce, your superpower comes from recognizing all the things that make you unique.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you start to harness the rich heritage that is your Jamaican mother and your South African Osa dad, you are going to be unstoppable. And so to answer your question, Bespoke, how do you move through those times where you struggle? You got to figure out, number one, is it that I don't like what I'm doing? Like there's no passion behind this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a struggle for me. I'm not showing up authentically. So that's why I'm not able to be consistent. If that's what it is, then you need to listen to yourself and move on to the next thing. But if it is not that, if it's just like I'm not willing to do the things that are necessary in order to show up consistently in this space, then you've got to find the cheat codes. Let me share one cheat code that I do for myself. I never do a live show without showing with my audience what the next live show is going to be. A flyer with the guest, never do it, because that's my way of being consistent. I've already shared it with my audience that I'm going to have this guest on my show. The guest is already booked. All of those are ways that I maintain
Mm-hmm.
consistency. That's one for Kirk. Now, maybe that's not the one for you, but you've got to test and find the things that are going to help you to be
Right.
consistent in whatever area of life you find yourself. And finding out what that thing is, notating it, writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's your up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, start. Okay, that's for my 90s babies out there. I'm sorry. For those whoever played Contra, I know. I'm dating myself now.
Look, I know
But
that. I
that's your
know that
cheat code.
time.
Come on.
And for me, So you talked about your guest. And for me, the
Yeah.
cheat code of consistency is that I calendar it, that I taught people, I
Yeah.
trained my audience to expect me to be here
That's
on
good.
Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. First, I had to experiment with a couple of different
Hmm.
days and times and
And times to
figure out
figure
my
out.
energy
Yeah, you
levels and
do.
all of that kind of stuff. And realistically, when are the kids coming home and when all of that had to
How do
be
I
part.
balance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then when I figured out, okay, this works for me and it seems like this is a good time for the audience that I want to reach, then I just put this thing on the calendar. And so now every Thursday, even if the hair's not done,
Even
even if
yeah,
the
exactly.
makeup's not on,
Mercy.
most of the time, if I'm not feeling well, I still will get on.
Hmm.
But getting on makes me feel better. Getting
Me
on and
too.
staying on
Yeah.
the train,
Yeah.
staying
Yeah.
consistent helps me
Yeah.
to be more empowered so that I can be on for the next time because I'm showing up not just for them, but I'm showing up for myself.
That's it. Yeah, it can't be externally motivated. It's got your why has to be bigger than that. It has to be. So just,
I
I love
love
that.
it.
I love that.
Yeah, we're getting lots of hearts. And look, He Spoke says, thank you because this definitely helps me. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm
Get the
glad. I'm glad.
bookings, everything Kirk said about the bookings. And look, and when you do put those bookings together, one of the things you want to do is have a system.
The
This is what I'm
system.
getting ready to really dive into, Kirk, from a live
Hmm.
stream standpoint for me.
Hmm.
Where I want to
Hmm.
carve my niche out is in putting structure and systems in place and process in place to help you to really stay on track. So,
That's it. And her systems are dope, y'all. Let me tell you, it is absolutely amazing how and automation and you know letting the engine work on your behalf and not having
yeah,
to do every single thing manually is absolutely amazing. So that's systems, as they say, the systems is the currency of entrepreneurship. That's like this is the money. That's the money. Systems. If you can't put systems in place. Somebody asked me the other day, how do you know if I'm ready to be an entrepreneur? Do you have systems? No systems? No. Then you're not ready.
yeah,
Simple.
yeah,
It's just that
yeah.
simple.
Because you can't be
Yeah.
in it 24/7. You're not going to be in it 24. It just won't.
You're-
It
You
doesn't
can't be
work like
consistent
that.
there. That's it. That's it. That's
I
it.
love it. This has been so awesome. Look, I did not anticipate being on, so
Me
I
neither.
think I've
But
kept you
this is
on
this
the
is fun.
longest, but it has been so much fun and so informative. Even for me, I've learned a lot.
Mm.
Um, I got to put my timer such that I can keep these comments up longer because I shortened it and I realized
Okay.
need to
Okay. So
lengthen it
they go
again.
off quicker. Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cheryl, for showing up. Thank you, He Spoke, Valerie,
Hmm.
gosh, Gary, Yvette, everybody who's in the room and who has been in the room this evening. You have made this so much fun because you're
Yeah.
engaging and we get a chance to really, hopefully, support you in some way. So, Kirk, thank you once again. I know, look,
Thank
your
you.
schedule is tight because, look, Kirk is he is a world traveler. He is on his way to to more things,
Yeah.
more
Very
events,
true.
more speaking. Yeah,
I listen. I love these. I love these. I love the size of the crowd. I love what you're doing with your audience. I love how you're pouring into them. So kudos to you. Kudos to you.
thank
I see
you.
DJ Strick in the comments, but kudos to you for what you're doing here. It is always amazing to be able to kind of just sit back and be a guest. I was telling a coaching client literally yesterday. It's time for you to start taking appointments, taking speaking engagements, being a guest on other people's show, because now you get a chance to see what the other side is. That's a part of the process.
It
So
is.
I love this as well. Sitting in the hot seat, being interviewed. It also allows me to refine and hone my skills. But here's the other part, and I'm done now. I'm sorry, Tanya, but I'm done now. This is I'm really landing, as the old Baptist preacher says. I'm not gonna be before you long. But the part I absolutely love is refining how I tell my story. That's it.
Yeah. And I bet it gets better every time. I got to pull your website up one more time so that people know how to reach you, sir. I was going to do the
Absolutely.
card deck, but I'm going to let you get back to your what you're doing. And I want to make sure
Oh
people
my.
find you at
Unusual. That's
kirkrnugent.com.
right. That's me. Come on through, y'all.
Now I'm
It's
covering up
all
your
there.
amazing
Oh no, no, it's fine.
photo because I love that photo, by the way. But there it is, right there. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to have some, some action, some activity, but yeah, no, this is my little piece of the World Wide Web, and yeah, come check us out, man. We'd love to be able to engage with you over there. Let us know that you're coming from Tanya, and we might be able to do something special for you. So this is our place, man. So
Oh, that's sweet.
absolutely.
I really love that.
The the
That's a
the
look.
bottom piece.
Yeah, this whole imagery right here with the video. Yeah, look, I get into the design stuff too, so I love
Hey,
this.
man. Yeah,
Very
that
nice.
behind reveal, yeah, it's good. It's cool. I
That's
love that
very
part as
cool.
well.
And then he will also encourage you to go to sign up and subscribe to be a part of his mailing list for how it all
That's
works. It's
correct.
works with
That's correct.
WERKS
ERKS. That's right.
right
That's
there.
right. WERKS. How it all
Love it.
works. I love that.
Well,
Thank you so
thank you
much.
once
This
again,
is this is
sir.
phenomenal.
Yeah, this has been fun. I just appreciate you being
Yeah.
on here and just spending time. I just feel so full right now. I just can't tell you.
I'm so glad for that, man. I tell you what, that this is poured gas back in my tank as well. So this is great.
Look, everybody, we're going to close it out and we're going to let Kirk
Yeah.
actually relax for the evening. Maybe, if that's what you're
Maybe.
doing.
Maybe.
Oh, wait,
Just a little bit.
JP. So, first of all, DJ
Is he
Strick
here?
already said great show, guys, but then JP showed up.
Oh, look at JP,
I
man. JP is
know.
in the building.
I know. And thank you, Kimberly, for being here. Gosh, so many amazing people. We appreciate getting a chance to love on you all. I'm going to let you go right now, Kirk, and close this thing out real quick.
Cool. Take care,
Um,
everybody.
I I cannot tell you how much I love to meet with other creators such as Kirk. It's an honor. It's a learning moment. It's a learning opportunity. It's a chance to grow. I hope that you've taken away so many nuggets. If you didn't get them all, go back and watch the replay, y'all. Just replay this video wherever you're watching it now and write down notes about what you're going to implement, like take action on at least one thing that you learned tonight. Because we were here for some time, longer than our normal. So I know there's at least one takeaway. We appreciate you being here. I invite you to come back. I invite you to like this video, to follow and subscribe so that you can come back and watch us now on Tuesdays for our 10-minute tips and on Thursdays for our longer engagement videos. We're going to have some fun moving forward, and there's a lot coming up. So stay tuned, and I will see you next time in the stream.